Hello, everybody. Kurt here, and I have a special guest for you to meet today. Her name is Ruxar.
Hello, everyone.
Ruxar is getting married to her twin flame, and she agreed to do a quick interview today. I just wanted to take the time to do this for you guys today so that you can see that this works and there are solutions and you have options. And it's like I always tell you guys, you don't have to be with your person, with your twin flame. You don't have to. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of peer pressure from the so-called twin flame community. They've got you convinced that it's like a requirement or something, and it's not. And that's probably something Ruxar and I are going to talk about today, which is she gets that, and her choice was to marry her twin flame. So having a choice in the matter certainly is better than having your twin flame run away from you all the time, isn't it?
It is.
So why don't you just quickly tell us your story about how this crazy journey unfolded for you and got you to where you are today?
Me and my other selves were in school together, but we sort of never crossed ways. He was 1 year senior to me, and when he just lived close to school, and when he has like graduated from high school and everything, and I was still in my school, I just met him by a shop which was next to my school, and then we guys just clicked, I would like to say. And it felt, like usual romantic relationships. There are those butterflies, that excitement. Then we used to talk a lot for hours and hours, and we both agreed, okay, that we are in love. But then problems started sinking in, and I think it was just me. I was focused. I just found this random information about twin flames on internet, and we hadn't broken up yet. And I was like, okay, this is what is between me and him. And I got obsessed with it. And then I focused on it, and then he started to run. He started to ghost me. He would spend time with his friends, and like anything other than me. And then obviously we were in a relationship, so it felt, I was like, what has changed? Why are you behaving like that? And then he said that, like, it came out of nowhere. He said that it's not happening. We
Yeah, he
There
just
are a
made
lot
an
of problems, and he
excuse.
just needs to, yes, he just needs to be on his own right now. He doesn't see this happening. And
Mhm.
then he broke up with me. And I'm so grateful that I found Kurt very early in my journey. I used to follow this Instagram page. I don't know if that's managed by a student of yours. I don't know, but he just mentioned it somewhere that someone has asked him for a logical explanation on the existence of twin flames, and he directed that person to your website.
Hmm.
From there, I found you, and then I looked at your videos, and I was like, okay, this guy is different, obviously. And I used to be obsessed with tarot readings at first. I used to follow this whole like a plethora of Instagram pages and YouTube channels. But then I found your channel, and then, yeah, my eyes opened, obviously. Tarot reading sort of keeps you focused on the outcome and the other person. But that otherness of the person is an illusion. So obviously, during the course of this journey, at times I felt dejected, lost, hopeless. So earlier I used to look at tarot readings for hope. But when I found you, I obviously, the introduction to the journey videos of your course, they were like my go-to place when I needed, sort of just lift up. And I also like selected videos from your YouTube channel, the spiritual videos, not the tarot readings, and I arranged them in a playlist labeled as guidance,
Hey,
and then
that's
I
really
used to
smart.
do.
So you took the
Yeah,
paid coaching and the free coaching on my YouTube channel, and you found things from both that seem to help you.
yes. And
That's cool.
we were we had lost contact for almost a month, me and my other self. The day I signed up for your coaching,
I just want to say this for the viewers. When she says other self, she's talking about her twin flame. That's what we call it, because they're another incarnation of your soul. So they are you. It's your other self. That's the same thing as twin flame. Sorry, go ahead.
so we had lost contact. We were not in touch for almost a month. Obviously, I used to message him, you know, uh, I'm talking about just a month after he broke up. And when I signed up for your coaching, he
He
just
wasn't
wanted to
responding. He was
video
ghosting,
call.
ignoring you.
Yes. The
Yeah.
day I signed up for your coaching, he just called me at 12 at midnight, and he said that I want a video call. And then he didn't let me leave till 3 a.m.
The day you
Because
signed
by
up, he started talking to you.
yes, yes, because I had mentally, like, I don't know, shifted my energy. Okay, this is what I need to do. This guy tells me to detach, and probably he's gonna reflect more on this in his video course. So okay, I have to leave him behind, and just focus
So
on
you
what
started to
was
see
going to be.
how detaching energetically from him right away
Yes,
got him to act different.
I think he wouldn't have let me go the entire night, but he has fallen asleep by that time
Yeah,
at 3 a.m. Okay,
right.
so and then yeah, I just followed your regimen. It's obviously a very detailed course, and there are a lot of scammers out there who tell you things, that you have to heal your inner child wounds, balance divine masculine and divine feminine template,
Yeah.
and cord cutting rituals, they don't work.
Yeah, cord
But
cutting, all that new agey
it's
stuff.
nonsense. You in your videos actually tell that why you have to follow the things that you have to follow, so that the user, it makes sense. It's not like, okay, let's try this. No, it's not like that.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
And this, and I want to say this for the viewers, like I get this a lot from people. They go, Kurt, what you teach is not random, arbitrary stuff. It makes sense. It has a basis in reality. And that basis is ancient Zen spiritualism. These are known things, these are known principles. Whereas other teachings that you see out there about this, like with the healing and fixing your inner child and the balancing the masculine and feminine, those are not bad things. But when it comes to your experience with your twin flame, they just seem kind of arbitrary and random, and you can't really seem to make sense about why those things should be the answer. And what I'm teaching people, there's a core message that's identifiable. And I'm not saying that just to brag. What you're saying right now, Ruxar, I get that a lot from people. It just kind of makes sense that this is the way this works.
Yeah, like I've seen people commenting and they're like, yeah, this guy is different. They use this phrase a lot, because there are scammers out there who pretend to be twin flame coaches, but they're charging, like in my country, they were like, I met few Indians who charge like tens of thousands of rupees for a single session.
Oh my God, tens
That's
of
crazy.
thousands?
That's crazy for like 1 hour session to just get to talk to them. Tens of thousands.
Oh my God. Okay.
It's unbelievable.
Wow. So you found me. The coaching immediately started to work. You also went through the kind of the back and forth, like when your twin flame, your other self starts to come back. I coached you through that and you got him to stay. And now you guys are getting married.
Yes,
That's
we are.
great. Wow. I'm speechless. And, you know, I just want to say congratulations, first of all, but
Thank you.
also, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, sometimes I feel like, why was I picked to do this? Because I don't think I'm special. I don't. But here's the thing, and this is what we just talked about. It's not me that's important. It's the message. And of course, the message that I'm giving you works because it's ancient. None of this new
It
agey
is.
stuff. It's all tied to ancient spiritual teachings.
I think it's somewhere connected to like the creation of the universe. And you have a section about
Yes.
this specific thing in your video course. And I just kind of, because I'm born in a Muslim family and I live in India, which has Hinduism as its major religion. And in Islam, uh, Prophet Moses and Prophet Christ, they're like our prophets as well, Jesus Christ. So it's like I have read scriptures, I've read Bible, and I have read like scriptures of Hinduism. And what I have seen is that in the three Abrahamic religions, that is Judaism, Christianity, and Islam,
Mhm.
it said that when the universe came into existence, God said, I am. God told Moses, I am on the mountain of Sinai. So, what existed before that? There was something before he said that I am. Big Bang happened and the universe came into existence. But if everything came out of that Big Bang, where did it came from? How
Right.
did this originate? And in Hinduism, it said that God, uh, goddess came prior to God. In Hinduism, people believe that there was energy, and and they label it as feminine for some reason, apparently. And they said, then God came, and then it became conscious of that energy, and the universe, the material, the physical universe came into existence. So I think in Hermetic principles, it said that uh, there is duality in everything, and that gender is manifested on all planes. So I think this is what it's about. This message of staying present. I think it's like your consciousness, which people in the past have labeled as the masculine out of the God.
Yeah.
And then there is energy. There is this world around you. There are your emotions, your thoughts, your body. Obviously, you can reflect your consciousness in words and outside to you as well. So I think this is what these labels, divine masculine and divine feminine is all about.
Right.
Because once you merge these two things, there is this duality between man and nature, the observer and the observed. So
Mhm.
when this duality becomes one, then the duality between you and your twin flame, your other self, it gets neutralized.
Right. And it's
So now
interesting,
when, yes,
a lot of the I love that you're bringing this stuff up, by the way. This is what I really groove on. I love to talk about this stuff. And by the
me too.
way, for all of you watching, this is what we talk about on our group coaching calls. This is kind of a typical conversation because we dig into these deeper concepts. And it's like you were just saying a second ago, Ruxar, you see all the world's religions, and what we talk about is where they all intersect, which is the
That's the
basis of reality. Where did the universe come from? What is God? What
This is
is
a perennial
consciousness?
philosophy.
How can I access that myself? Where did all the world's religions come from? And you even mentioned the Hermetic principles, of course. That's probably a good way to explain where they all come together. But the concept of duality or separation consciousness or union, separation, union, divine feminine, divine masculine, all this terminology that gets thrown around online about twin flames, you're now starting to see where that terminology really came from. And unfortunately, what people do is they take the terminology and they misinterpret it. And that's why you have, and I think it's innocent, to be honest with you, most people, uh, where they teach you to do all this like inner child work and balance your divine masculine and divine feminine and that kind of thing. But be that as it may, it's still not helping. And it's misguided. They don't really understand the root concepts, the root philosophy of ancient spiritualism, where that terminology came from, and what it is that you need to do energetically inside, where those teachings come from. The feminine and the masculine, separation consciousness, which is when you live through the duality of ego, or unity consciousness, union, which is obviously now what you are experiencing. But unity consciousness is where you get out of ego and you no longer see yourself as separate from anybody, let alone your
Yes,
twin
that's right.
flame. And I'm
And I hear
really
this
glad you
word.
brought this up, because that's part of why I wanted to do this video. I wanted to show people, no, there is a logical, established, ancient underlying concept here that does work. And it's based on the soul, consciousness. And you and your twin flame are the same soul. That's what everybody says. It's one soul in two bodies. So you gotta do soul stuff. That's what I always tell people.
And it's like, it's so different, the life after, my ego death, and this entire journey of snapping out of separation consciousness into unity consciousness. Because when I meditate, when I'm in like taking a stroll in a park or something, I become one with the trees, with the birds chirping. When I'm
Yeah,
by a lake, it's like I become the water. There's no duality between the observer and the observed.
yes.
It's there's this term in alchemy, heros gemos, which means the divine marriage between the divine masculine and feminine. And I've seen like many people using that for twin flames.
And
And
it's not
yeah,
gender,
it's not
it's
gender.
duality. Those are just labels that ancient spiritualism uses to convey the concept of duality within you. But people take the gender labels and they go, oh, it must literally mean gender, right? And
You
that's
just
what
need
we're
to
trying
bring
to tell you,
consciousness.
all you guys out there in
Yes.
YouTube land or wherever you're watching this video. That's what we're trying to tell you, is it's not really gender, but the gender labels aren't bad. They're just trying to point you at something deeper.
You just need to bring your consciousness into the energy, the manifested universe, and even your thoughts and emotions. You just observe those things. And
You're,
when you like bring those things together, then you obviously get completed on a, you feel fulfilled on a deeper level. And that's when your other self shows up. And
yeah,
he himself has described our relationship. Well, it's not relationship, it's just a
right.
label. It doesn't feel, apt calling this a relationship. He has described it as, well, he's a web developer. So he says that it's like we are two operating systems in a computer. Like he has accepted this himself. These are his
Right.
words, that
And
two
isn't that what I
entirely
tell
different.
people all the
Yes.
time? All of you guys watching this video, you can go to my playlist. There's a playlist on my channel called How to Get Your Twin Flame. And go find, I did 2 videos with my twin flame where we talked about what it's like. And I did other videos called What is it like to be with your twin flame? And you just nailed it. You said it better than I did. It's like there's no other. It's like there's 2 operating systems, but it's in one computer. And you don't
2
see
different
any
ways.
difference between you and them. So how can you call it a relationship when you don't feel like you're relating to another person? You're just there being you, and you experience them as you. It's like that. And it's not going to make sense to the mind, but it doesn't need to, because this is not a journey of the mind. This is a journey of the soul. So it's not something that can really be explained any better than maybe what we're explaining it. You out there watching, you guys have to experience it. The soul experiences. The mind understands. And the mind is not capable, oftentimes, of explaining, understanding the experience we're trying to show you. But we sure are trying. I think perhaps you and I both, through this video, are doing the best job anybody could do of explaining it. But this is not like soulmates at all. This is totally, totally different. It's not a connection. There's you, and that's it. And as long as you're in that way energetically, the person just wants to be there with you, your twin flame, your other self. And that's all.
Yeah.
Did I just take the words out of your mouth? I often do that. Well, I gotta say, Ruxar, I'm proud of you. At the same time, I'm you and I are equal for sure, and I feel like I'm equal to everybody, honestly. But on the grand scheme of things, as far as mastering something like an ascension, you're there, dude. You're there. And this is what I tell people all the time, all my students, like, I don't want followers. Don't make follower out of, don't make a follower of, don't be a follower of me. Don't do that. That's actually part of the problem. If you're doing that with the other people in your life, you need to be a master. If you're not at least as good as I am or better, this isn't going to work. And just based on the things that you're saying today, you got this. You got this. And of course, I mean, it wouldn't be any other way if it wasn't for the fact that your twin flame, your other self, and you are getting married. And that doesn't put us above you guys watching. That's not how this works. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is you are already just as good as us. But the ego, it makes you blind to the amazing spiritual being that you already are. That's what's going on. It's not that you're bad or defective. It's that we as humans are subject to what I call, and I believe Eckhart Tolle even calls, the human condition. So we were born into this, and it's embedded into the human psyche. But over time, you can release the conditioning, and you start to remember who you are. And it's who you already are. Ruxar,
Yes.
do you have any parting comments?
I would like to quote something that I read a few days ago. It goes like, if God chose to hide, he would hide in man, because that's the last place that the man is going to look for. And I was like enthralled
Wow.
as I read it.
I think you
And
just blew my mind.
as it did do mine. And I would like to say, like, to the viewers who are still like trying to figure out like what to do, and the mind's gonna find it difficult because the mind is attached. It has a sense of identity attached to that person or
To the
to this
outcome.
relationship. Yeah, but once you go through this, see, your ego is dying. And when your ego dies, you use your mind for what it is. You use it to like get your stuff done. You don't use it to get attached and to cry and to obsess over things. You're going to be in a much better place once you go through this.
Mhm.
The alchemists, they used to say that to do the master work, you just need the material that's most commonly found in its most leaden state. The modern alchemists, the scientists of the Renaissance era, they took it for converting lead into gold. But actually, it's our souls, which are
Yes.
like, dumped.
Right. That was a metaphor.
Yeah, that was a metaphor. So you are going to do this master work and you're going to turn yourselves into gold, pure consciousness.
Right.
So you are the artist and you are the art, so just believe in yourself. And Kurt is an excellent teacher. I'm so glad that I found
You really get
you.
this, don't you? I can
I think I
tell.
do.
I can tell you know exactly what you're saying. It's like every word that comes out of your mouth, I know exactly what you're saying.
I'm so glad I found you so early in my
Wow.
journey, like within 20 days. And I'm so glad that whatever happened, and I think that my life has been preparing me for this, like even before I met him. Like the things I used to get attracted to, this religious and spiritual info, it's like it all makes sense. It all just fits in the place. And it's amazing. I'm so proud that I'm on this journey, and so should be you guys who are watching this. This is the best thing that can happen to you, and it's like the, you can say, climax of your existence, because now you realize what you are.
Yeah. Wow. You said it so eloquently. And by the way, I would love to know where you read that, or maybe I'll just start using that little saying because it's so good. Um,
Yes.
the last place anybody would look to find God is within themselves. That's
Yeah, if
basically
God
it, right?
chose to hide, he would hide in man.
Oh, right. Okay. He would hide in
Yes.
man because that's the last place he would ever look. That's so true.
It's so
Wow.
simple and it's so true at the same time.
You're amazing. We're all amazing. Everybody just needs to remember that. All right. Rooksar, thank you for your time. This was great.
Thanks to you, Kurt, for guiding me, out of that place of darkness. Well, actually, it was not darkness. It was, what I like to call it, is the most interesting time of my life, because it was amazing. Like when I look back and it's like, oh, I just like crossed, like I'm over it now. And
Mhm.
obviously, I get a sense of nostalgia, but it's positive.
Right. And if you guys if you don't understand what she's saying, she's talking about ego death or what you guys call dark night of the soul. Same thing. But you look back at that and you're like, wait a minute, I'm actually really glad that happened because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. And that might sound crazy to you guys watching, but it's like that. It's like that. Sometimes you got to tear down the old piece of shit shack first to make room for the big, beautiful crystal castle that you're going to build in its place. Ruxar, thanks again.
Thanks to you, Kurt.